do you guys think City will ever run Manchester?
Nah.
It's hard. I mean, hey, if they continue in this form in the next 5-something years and they kind of compare their trophy cabinet, something, you know what I mean? Like, not like exactly, because you can tell, like, the league titles, Man U definitely have so many more. Champions League, Man U have obviously more because Man City have been won any, right? Any other?
How many does Man United have? 3?
I think it's 2 or 3. Something I honestly couldn't tell you. But I need my homework.
I think it's 3.
It's my homework. How many does Barca have?
Me?
Yeah.
5.
Yeah, because Matt put it up for it.
But you cheated, bro.
I said 8?
Wait, what was the question? CL titles?
I didn't say 8.
He said 5. He said 5.
5.
Yeah, everyone's failing Matthew's
Come
test.
on.
Everyone's failing
Man
Matthew's
U have
test, bro.
3, Barca have 5, Juventus have 2, Dortmund
I said
have
5.
He says
Yeah.
5.
Believe,
I said 2, 3, and I was like thinking about it. I'm pretty sure it was 3. But like I'm saying, when it comes down to it, it'll take a long time for Man City to really compare their trophy levels. But when it comes down to like the quality in football and the way their teams are comparing, like compare Man City's best team to Man U's best team, like, and I mean,
Okay, I was gonna say, let's say in champion. Okay, so Man United has 2 Champions Leagues.
3.
3 Champions Leagues. Let's say Man City win 3. Like, let's say they win a 3-peat of Champions League the next 3 years. Or let's say maybe 4 Champions League. We'll give them
yes,
one above.
you can definitely say they're definitely a Manchester City, Manchester United. Like they're gonna be one of the cities that known as having 2 great football teams.
You know why I will never say
Will they be bigger?
It's gonna be hard because again, it comes down to league. It comes down to the Premier League.
The way I see it,
You know what I mean?
and the way that I'll say it never, is because how many Manchester City legends are there?
But they'll come.
How many are there right now?
Right now, I can give you 3, 4
Legends.
4,
Legends, like proper legends.
Company,
3.
Aguero, De Bruyne's
David
gonna be
Silva.
1. David Silva's 1.
Yaya Toure.
yeah.
Yaya Toure.
And how early is that?
Toure.
But that's 5.
That's early 2000s.
That's 5 of maybe like
And you
2.
can even say
You
Carlos
can say
Tevez.
no, not Tevez.
No, you
Okay.
can't. You
They're
can't do
being
that, bro.
created now, though.
But that's
Yeah.
the thing. They're being created now. They're being created now.
But
But like,
so,
It's
but
one of those things that you'd have to look back at. Let's say, in 2040,
next
you know,
generation,
the next
after
generation,
Foden.
like once they've kind of had this run, whenever it ends, that's when you can kind of look back. Okay, compare this run that they have, however long that lasts, and compare it to Fergie's era with Man U. You know what I mean? Like, you know what I mean? It's like they had such a great period of success where they won so many titles. They won Champions League. They had like crazy seasons with crazy iconic players, and then compare that to whatever City could potentially accomplish, right?
Plus,
Right?
another angle to look at it. Let's say like a 5-year-old kid in Manchester right now, 6-year-old, 7-year-old. Why would they support United if they're choosing a soccer team right now or football team?
It comes down to the family. Like my father supports Man City. I'm not gonna make my father not want me to support Man City.
Not all, the kids don't always support what their parents. Look at
My dad's a Juve fan. My brother's an AC Milan fan.
But how would you feel as a Man U fan and having your son being a Man City fan?
it happens.
You don't really.
It is what it is.
it
You can't
happens,
change their
bro.
mind.
No, but
Yeah,
what would
Let's
persuade
beat them.
what would persuade someone to choose? one or the other?
Usually growing up, and if my father watches football and they have a favorite team, I'm going to most likely support them. If that's not the case, then maybe the quality of football, maybe Man City football is much more intriguing to me. But when it comes down to it, for you to go and choose a team of football, you have to like football first. And who makes you want to grow up and like football first? It comes down to your family and like your
Family or sometimes your friends too.
Yeah.
Right? Depending.
So when it comes down to it, my father would be the first one to show me football. Who's my father most likely gonna be watching? Man U. Okay, if I start watching Man U, that's who I'm gonna grow up loving. And by the time I'm maybe 15 and like 7 years old or like 12, and I'm actually watching football on my own time, I'm searching my own games up, watching more other leagues, I'm probably still gonna be supporting the team that I grew up watching, right?
I think a better way to question that to switch that question around is what if a bandwagoner would be looking to support a Manchester team, who would they choose?
Whoever's winning.
City.
But
Whoever's
it's not even the word bandwagoner. Like
Yeah.
it's like who like say at like 20, 30 or like growing up now, like City have players that are like inspiring. Like sometimes a lot of these kids don't have parents that like football, so they're inspired
That's
by
true.
certain players.
That's true.
No, that's
what they
true
want.
too. But again, it comes down to if you're inspired by the player or the team.
Yeah.
Because a lot of
but
people,
players
make-
a lot
make a
of
team, yeah.
players are inspired by Ronaldo, and they're not Real Madrid fans or Juve fans.
That's how a lot of people became United fans.
Yeah, that's True.
But a lot of people also became Juve fans because they have Ronaldo this last 2 seasons.
Yeah.
Yeah.
But it
exactly.
switches everything.
It's the same thing everywhere.
Yeah.
I
But
became a Barca
it-
fan because of
players are like
Ronaldinho.
that.
It comes down to it. It comes down to it. If,
Barca,
if
Messi.
Yeah.
Ronaldinho.
it comes down to
Bro,
it.
Messi.
If it comes down to it, if you're living in the country and the city you're born and the team you support, I would feel like more of it is more growing up to it. If you're someone living outside of a country and looking to support a team that isn't part of the country you live in, it comes down to more like what you grew up watching on your own time, or like your friends. To like James probably didn't grow up watching German football, but he just loves growing it up watching maybe a good Lewandowski, good Aubameyang in his time.
What?
Marco Reus in his
What
time.
Exactly.
James? What did make you like Bayern? Bayern Dortmund. Sorry.
I started following them with when Marco Reus transferred.
Yeah,
to
even like
Dortmund.
they're
You were inspired
by
by
a
certain
player.
yeah, even when he was in Gladbach then he was a marvelous player, and I know he's always
Yeah.
thinking like, I'm not gonna be the guy who supports the top team right now. I want to be the underdogger. So like, of course, growing up to it, like, hey, I supported this team for maybe 10 so years, and now that they won the league, I was there for the 10 years that they were suffering,
Yeah.
right?
Yeah, but it's different for like the States and like teams like in places like Canada as well. Like we don't you don't see much of players like supporting national teams. We watch a lot of Europe, so it's different, and that's
You have more options. I
Mhm.
guess you can say. You
Yeah.
know what I mean? Because like if you're living in a certain city, more than likely you're going to be groomed to, let's say, watch like that whatever country you're living
Exactly.
in league,
Yeah,
right? Like
it's like in any other sport.
yeah.
And it
Like,
comes
the
down.
Raptors-
If you're
It comes
if you're
down.
a kid living in Milan, you're probably gonna follow Inter or you're gonna follow AC, depending on maybe who you fall in love with more. And like Jay said, if you're a kid in Manchester right now, you're either gonna turn on the TV and like you're gonna be inspired by how City are playing, and you're gonna be like, oh wow, like I love Man City, or you're gonna be that kid who, you know what, like Man United right now, I guess if they were playing, you'd probably think they're an underdog, right?
I
They're
love
not
Rashford
winning
for-
every year.
for the kids.
If you're a kid, yeah, you don't, because if you're a kid and you don't understand the history, you would probably look at Man U as like an underdog. If you've only started
Yeah.
watching football recently,
that's
and
true.
maybe you'll fall in love with, like the underdog story, right? So it just depends on like when you start watching, where you're from, and that's what's so great about the game. It's like there's so many different stories on how you can start, following teams or following the game, and it's like it's always going to be changing. But it's like sometimes for a team having that period of success or having that team like that period of like good football, it's entertaining to watch, can groom so many fans for like generations, right?
And it's especially hard, like growing up and watching a team that you're like localized. Like team is like, oh, I'm from Toronto, Canada. I'm not gonna love watching Toronto FC football. But then it comes down to comparing the football and the way you grew up and seeing like other teams play now. Now I'm watching European football, like the difference of quality, the difference of the way your coaches too. Like nowadays, they don't say, oh, you better go home and watch the Toronto FC game versus Philadelphia Union. You should go home and watch the Champions League final. You know what I mean? Like
Yeah,
which
but
football?
the thing with us is like TFC were invented or created in like what 2007.
No, for sure.
Yeah.
No, obviously, but it comes down to like, it's definitely going to be much longer till football in Canada and the U.S. anything gets a lot into the same culture as it in worldwide. Like imagine like TFC winning when they won their league, compared to Besiktas winning the league, compared to Inter Milan winning the league. Look at the fans really going crazy because it comes down to the history. It comes down to how long you've been supporting, how long it's been without a championship. It comes down to like, oh, my father loved this team. Now that it's again like first time him seeing the league again. It's been so long kind
Yeah.
of thing. But I guess us is still kind of fresh. But again,
The MLS will never reach.
how
European standards.
how long
can't
until
compare
how long
European
until it
football
does?
to
You know what I mean?
American
It's gonna be really
Never
hard.
will.
It's gonna be really hard because it comes down to the culture. It comes down to stuff like that. But I don't know.
And in North America, soccer has so many sports to surpass. That's the past
Yeah.
basketball, hockey, and then American football.
Baseball.
But it's doing it.
It's getting there. I can say
Yeah,
like
it's
when it comes
slowly.
down to basketball,
I don't know.
basketball too. Basketball for sure. When a city wins their league, like it's crazy. The fans go crazy. Look at Toronto when they won the league. We went crazy.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? I can compare it to when like Inter Milan would probably win the league. Like obviously we're definitely more careful, not shooting flares or rockets or anything to like
Yes, people were.
maybe probably yeah. No,
Yes,
actually
they
were. They were. I'm not gonna lie. But like you know what I mean? Imagine that here if like Toronto FC won the league. It's
We
hard.
had it here.
Imagine, but that's
Yeah,
the thing.
we
Like
had it.
if we had the same experience,
Nothing happens.
exactly.
Yeah.
That's football in Europe and football in North America. That's the difference. That shows you
Yeah.
right there.
But end of the day, Manchester is red.
Yeah.
and it'll stay red until, you know, City does
Give
something
it a
with
give
what
it
they
a
have.
give it a couple
They are
more
the best
years.
Give it
run-
a-
They are one of the best run clubs in football.
Yeah.
They have a lot of money. They have one of the best coaches in football. So
We are
it only
living
depends on them, right?
we are living their history right now.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I'll give it a decade or two.
I would say in a decade might be able to compete.
No, they need a lot more league trophies to win, and that's more than a decade.
They
worth.
can.
Yeah.
They might get one this year.
Even if they win every single league
Two.
trophy in a decade, they still won't have enough as Man U.
But they're gonna have champion. They might get a Champions League trophy this
We'll
year.
see. We'll see.
You never know.